What's going on, you guys? Crystal here, looking like a hot mess. It is 1,000,000 degrees out here and super humid, but I am outside painting my house. My brother flew in from Washington State to come and help me paint it ourselves. We could have done the whole hire out someone, get it done in a day, get a whole crew out here, but Robert and I are not so much those types of people. We want to do everything ourselves. So we wanted to do it ourselves, but we also wanted to do it right. So he's out here. He's actually painting all the doors and stuff right now. We got most of the base paint done, and now we're kind of going around doing the trim. We chose a white for the main color, and then we're doing black all around the trim, and it's gonna look so good. It already looks so good. If you guys remember when we bought the house, it was like this weird like mint green with like a burnt orange and a little bit of brown mixed in, and it looked real weird. So we're super excited to be able to pull up to our house and see this beautiful white house with black trim, and it's just gonna look so good. So we worked all day yesterday. We're out here all day again today. It is the stinking hot. I think it's the hottest day in Arkansas this year. So that's kind of what we've been up to. So this is my brother Chad. He is the one that flew in from Washington State. He is a dad. They just moved recently, and so they kind of just got like reset up in a new space. And you just started your own like woodworking company.
Yeah, the business is The Grains of Love. It's I'm just getting started in woodworking, so it's been little stuff, cutting boards and spoons and different things.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'll evolve into more furniture and things like that.
He's done some construction for like how many years? A long time.
Yeah, altogether over 10.
Yeah, over 10 years. So that's kind of what he was doing, and then he just wanted to be able to spend time with his family, do things from home, doing his own woodworking shop. And it's the Grains of Love on Instagram?
Yep.
Or Grains of Love?
The Grains of Love.
The Grains of Love on Instagram and on Facebook? Yep, yes, and on Facebook. So if you guys want to check him out, you can go support him and just check out his stuff. He does amazing work. But right now we have him sweating to death painting our house. And then we're gonna go and drive all the way to Washington State and just make a road trip out of it. So it should be really fun. But these are the doors. This one is the weird like burnt orange color, and this is the black that we're doing. It's drying right now, so I'm gonna not touch that. But yeah, we're super excited about it. All the white is completely finished, and now we're gonna go and spray all of the trim, the garage door, all of that, make it look absolutely amazing.
While they're hard at work painting, which is not my strong suit, I'm gonna kind of show you all around the property, what we're gonna do with the property when it's all said and done, at least what we're thinking right now. So follow me, let's check it out. All right, so we're on about just over 5 acres in total, and we're gonna have everything kind of subdivided out so we can eventually have it all set up for regenerative agriculture. So we'll kind of show you what we'll do with the livestock. This little rectangular piece here, I'm gonna fence in, and that's where we're gonna have our dog. Eventually we're gonna have a dog that's much more bigger and fierce than Jack. So when that time comes, we'll have a fenced in property from here. Eventually we'll have the whole property fenced in, but until then, that little rectangle will be fenced in for the dog. We're gonna have a rectangular piece going the length of this little field here, and this is where we're gonna have a garden. In that garden, we're gonna have all of our keto-friendly vegetables and whatnot, and I don't eat a ton of veggies, but I feel like once we start growing them ourselves, I'll probably eat a lot more. So, turnip greens, green beans, all that good stuff. So that's what we'll have all of our garden. Everything will be homegrown. This chain link fence was here when we got the property. We're gonna rip this out because I don't like chain link fences, but right now it's kind of handy to have for Jack, so we can just throw him out here whenever we need to. All of this was woods, and when we got here, I just bush hogged a ton of it, cut down a bunch of trees, and opened this up quite a bit. So this is all gonna be subdivided into 3 separate spots, which I'll share with y'all here in a little bit, for where we're gonna have the different animals. This property here, this house here, was the original house on the property, and it's gonna get torn down. We're gonna bulldoze this house probably within the next couple months, and then where it sits, I'm going to build a big shop, and the shop is gonna be where I do all my metalworking, all of the woodworking, and have all the tools, equipment necessary to run the rest of the property. This is a big old burn pile that was partly here when we moved in, but I've since added to it quite a bit. So eventually when I have time, I'm gonna burn that pile and open up that area here. And then this old barn up here has got quite a bit of history behind it. It used to be a schoolhouse, then they turned it into a garage, and now it's just been kind of sitting vacant. And it was just, I don't know if y'all recall from the first video walkthrough, it was just totally dilapidated and a bunch of junk in there. And while they've been painting, I've been cleaning. So I got my old truck pulled up here with the trailer. I've got a whole bunch of junk in that. Gonna have to take a run to the dump all this. And it's still pretty junky in here, but I'll go ahead and show you what we're working with so far. I think at one point they had a mill here. That's what all this is for, but that's since they had like a diesel engine sitting out back, and that's since been destroyed. But I gotta fix all of this, just siding, and all needs to be replaced. The floor is concrete. I didn't even know this was a concrete floor when I first moved in because it was so dirty, but I've been just trying to sweep the floor and get all this junk cleaned out of here. This has been the biggest project here. If you can see, there used to be a column there and a column there, and then when they made this into a garage, they tore the columns out so they could park vehicles in here, which was not a very smart idea because you can't, it's a load-bearing wall, and there's quite a bit of sag in it now. So I've been jacking up this column, and I'm going to replace it with another 6x6 once I get everything plumbed and ready to go, so that there will no longer be a massive sag in the ceiling. And I'm not really sure what this building will be for. We're gonna have the shop that will build where that house is currently, but this will mostly be for hay, animal feeds, some additional storage, just a dry storage basically for any of the animal and farm equipment that we have. So I'm excited about having it. It's definitely not pretty, but we'll be able to salvage it and make it useful in some form or fashion. I love the fact that it's got like the rock on the sides, like all the rock foundation here. It's just cool. It's like old school. I think it was built like in the 1800s or something. So I like that it has the history and the character that it does. I wanted to try and salvage it. So I mentioned regenerative agriculture earlier. I've been doing some reading up on the best way to construct that. We're planning on having about 2 cows, 3 pigs, 3 or 4 goats, and 10 chickens or so. And I'm thinking what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a fence that runs off of the side of this barn and then goes all the way down to the tree line there. And that will be one section. And we'll have 3 or 4 different fenced in paddock areas, and we'll be able to just rotate the animals every week or so between those paddocks. That'll help the grass have time to grow and recover, rejuvenate. That way they're not just grazing the whole time on the whole piece of property. By being able to rotate them through that way, we're gonna be able to save and conserve all of our grass and let it have time to grow. So let's walk down to the field here. This is an old car that's so old that it's growing into the tree. I'm not really sure how long it's been here, but long enough for the tree to grow around the car. So kind of stuck, to say the least. All right, y'all, this is the lower field. So when we first bought the place, I walked the entire property because I wanted to see what I was buying. And this did not exist. This was all just woods, like pure woods and thicket and briars and trees. No field here whatsoever. One of the first things I did when I got the property was bush hogged all of this, cleared a bunch of land. There's 3 big burn piles on this little field here. Not really sure how much land this is, I haven't walked it out, but we'll have all this fenced in. This will be one of the 3 or 4 paddocks that we rotate all the animals through. So pretty good little chunk of cleared land down here. The grass is actually surprisingly coming in very thick. So I feel like this will be a really good space for the animals when we eventually get them. And then again, it'll just make it easy to have kind of 3 separate little paddocks that we have to be able to rotate all the livestock through. So super excited about this. I'm probably gonna have a bow range set up at some point down here too, so that I can practice my archery while I'm down here with the critters. All right, and this is the very back of the property. Like I said, it's on 5 acres, just over 5 acres, and it makes like a big long rectangle. And this creek runs on the very back half of it, basically separates the property line here, but it's a pretty good solid creek. Like it runs year round, even in the summertime, and I may eventually dam up part of that and create like a watering hole basically, but for right now it's just nice to have a good source of water. I can go for a run, then come back in here and jump in the creek, and it feels like southern living to the finest. So I'm loving the property, I'm loving the land, I'm loving all the work that we're doing to it, and it's like perfect for us right now. It's only 10 minutes from the building where we're going to be relocating to. It gives us an opportunity to raise our own livestock, provide our own food, be totally self-sufficient and sustainable, and Crystal and I are loving every minute of it. There's going to be a lot more homesteading-like content coming your way, so stay tuned for that going forward.